Hi, I'm Tom Spiggle with the Spiggle Law Firm, where we help people who've been fired or afraid they might be. Welcome to our Spotlight video series, where we talk about cutting edge employment law issues in the news. And I'm thrilled today to be talking with one of our paralegals, Emily Villatoro, in our office. So, Emily, what are we talking about today?
Thank you for having me, Tom. So today I am interested in talking about the relationship between employment law and immigration, specifically when a person with a legal status, without a legal status, or a person who is in the process of gaining residency or citizenship is discriminated against and then fired from a workplace.
Yeah, it's a great question. And we see this not infrequently where there's both an employment law question and an immigration question. And let me say, just as a matter of legalese, this isn't intended to be legal advice for anybody in particular. If you've got a specific question about your case, or whether you have a case, you should call a lawyer. But with that said, yes, there is a fair amount of overlap. The employment laws, particularly the federal employment laws, do apply to people who are here without legal status. So, Title VII, which, as you know, is the big federal anti-discrimination law, does apply. You don't have to be a citizen for that law to apply. It can affect damages in some situations, like what you're eligible to get in a case, but the laws still apply, and it's still illegal for someone to discriminate against someone in the workplace, regardless of their status. Um, you know, and it could be, we have seen this before where, an employer will threaten to retaliate against someone who's here without legal status, and basically saying, like, if you go forward with this, then we're going to send you back to your country, or we're going to contact ICE or something like that. That is also illegal retaliation. It's illegal for an employer to do that. How it affects immigration status, that's probably I think if somebody has that question, then they need to be talking to their immigration attorney.
Mhm.
It should not, right? The fact that you've been discriminated should not affect, any kind of pending application. I think where you could potentially get in trouble is if you are, working in an illegal way. It could not that I think it would. Well, I don't know. I'm talking a little bit out of turn here because I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't think that would necessarily impact your application for an immigration for status here in the United States. But that is the one area where I think I would want to talk to an immigration attorney before, if that is the case, if you're kind of working off the books. But my suspicion is that it should not affect the process for getting a green card or getting citizenship.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. But you were talking about damages, specifically, I guess, how does that affect it?
Yeah, so in most cases, you're entitled to get, if you're illegally terminated, you're entitled to get back wages and front wages. So let's say you're fired, you're out of work for a year, you go to trial and you win. Okay, you're entitled to get, back wages, the money you should have made during that year had you not been illegally terminated. And you're also eligible to get what's called front wages. So let's say even after the trial, at the trial, you say, Judge, it's hard for me to find a job. It took me a long time to find this one. It's going to take me another year, even if I look really hard, to find another job. And you've got to put on evidence of this. But nevertheless, let's say that's the argument. Then a judge could award you another year, right? Prospectively, saying, look, it's on the employer for illegally terminating you, and you're entitled to get front wages. I believe under Title VII that if you are here and you are undocumented, that you're entitled to back wages, but not front wages. So
Okay.
I guess the theory being that you weren't supposed to be working, you weren't supposed to be working yet anyway, and so you wouldn't be entitled to those damages. But otherwise, all the damages apply. So you'd get back wages, you'd get emotional distress. Certainly, Fair Labor Standards Act cases where you're not paid appropriately, or you're not paid overtime. That doesn't matter whether you're documented or not. Those laws apply equally to everyone in the workplace, and you're entitled to those full damages in those cases.
Interesting. And is the EEOC process the same as well?
Yes, it's the same.
Okay.
Yes. So even if you're undocumented, you can go to the EEOC and either with an attorney or without an attorney, and file a charge, which is, I think, something, good for people to know, is that in order, which Emily, in order to protect your rights, you've got, if it's a discrimination case, federal discrimination case, you've got to file that either within 180 days or 380 days after the illegal discrimination. If it's a wage case, right, you haven't been paid, you haven't, appropriately paid overtime, let's say, those you do not have to file with the EEOC. You can go straight to court with those.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, sure. I think it's, for those people that, are worried about this, we've got a lot of good information on our website. You're always, feel free to call our office. We, like I said, we don't do the immigration side, but we work with a lot of attorneys. We know a lot of attorneys who do that work, and we're happy to get someone a referral, because, you should have somebody advising you on that end too, because that's not an area that I'm intimately familiar with. So it's good to have an attorney on both sides.
Okay. Sounds
well, great
good.
question. Thanks so much, Emily. I appreciate it. Until next time, I'll let you get onto the next thing on your desk there.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right,
Tom.
take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.